This was a really hard one for me too. I read the 500-page report. Thank you for putting that together. For me to sit there for 3 days and read through the whole report and understand everything that's in it says a lot. It was very comprehensive in order, and I can tell you put tons of time into this. So after reading the 500-plus page report and the statement of overriding consideration, well, actually, prior to that, I expected to make findings that would be of concern. What I did not imagine was how far the supposedly environmentally conscious Sacramento is willing to take their attack on HB residents. HB residents have been cornered into a position where we have to choose between giving up clean air to breathe, compromising our water supply, giving up the safety of our community, sacrificing our wetlands, or we will be fined. With the developments of the 13,368 units, they are projecting about 29,475 new residents, and that is only if there are 2.5 persons per unit. Most homes have more than that, so those projected numbers can double or even triple. I looked into the greenhouse gas emissions. As such, the report concluded that the GPU, it resulted in significant, unavoidable, cumulative impacts due to the generation of greenhouse gas emissions. ROG emissions, despite compliance with GPU policies, the project would result in significant and unavoidable impacts concerning construction-related ROG emissions and operational ozone. Hazardous materials. Build-out of these land uses would result in the use of hazardous materials and thus would expose the public or environment to hazardous materials through improper handling or use of hazardous materials, particularly by untrained personnel, transportation accident, environmentally unsound disposal methods, or fire, explosion, or other emergencies. Schools. Any one of the 378 candidate housing sites could be within a quarter mile of an existing school. However, the project will facilitate housing development, which does not typically involve uses or routine activities that would emit hazardous materials, notwithstanding upset accident conditions that could emit hazardous emissions within a quarter mile of an existing or proposed school. The GPU identified the Huntington Beach Union High School District, Huntington Beach City School District, and Ocean View School Districts, as well as portions of the Westminster School District and Fountain Valley School Districts, which could be affected. We have over 50 public and private schools in our city. Water. Future housing demand facilitated by the project would result in an unaccounted net water demand. Therefore, based on the report, projected supplies, there may not be sufficient water supplies available to serve the project in reasonably foreseeable future development during normal, dry, or multiple dry years. Until the water supply situation improves, the project-related water demands from future development would result in a significant and unavoidable impact concerning water supplies. Noise. Anticipated increase in traffic volumes would increase ambient noise levels through the city. The report indicated that the greatest increase in noise levels would occur along Bolsa Avenue between Edwards Street and Golden West. Substantial increases would also occur at various points along Adams Avenue, Atlanta Avenue, Edinger Avenue, Pacific Coast Highway, Bolsa Chica Street, Golden West Street, Brookhurst Street, where noise levels would increase above the established thresholds. Fire services. The project would result in substantial adverse physical impacts associated with the provisions of new or physically altered fire protection facilities. The construction could cause significant environmental impacts. In order to maintain acceptable service ratios, response times, or other performative objectives, there will be the impacts will potentially be significant. Wetlands. Although the report stated the general plan does not have the potential to indirectly impact habitat for special status species, riparian habitats, and wetlands by increasing environmental pollutants, promoting habitat fragmentation, and introducing these species can be affected. Then we have effects on migratory fish and wildlife. The report concluded that future development under the general plan could potentially result in the indirect loss or degradation of wildlife corridors through the increased light and noise pollution, introduction of invasive species, habitat fragmentation, and increased urban runoff. I believe that asking us to compromise our clean air, water supply, public safety, and protected wetlands, along with all the endangered species that not only depend on the wetlands, but the safe migratory patterns to survive, or else be fined into submission is egregious and punitive. I cannot in good conscience support item 25. I do not believe the benefits of building outweigh the consequences of destroying our city, our quality of life, and sacrificing our endangered wildlife.